Hi everybody, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. So in this video, we're going to discuss 3 riveting royal portraits and all of the controversies that are surrounding them. But be sure to go over to video 2 after this video. You guys, we have a lot of juicy Royal Daily Tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So royal portraits have always served as a very important historical timestamp and marker in a monarch's reign. So King Charles has just released his very first official portrait as king, and a lot of people are not happy with the finished product. Now I have to be 100% honest with you. When I first saw the painting, I was like, oh my God, it is hideous. It reminded me of Han Solo when he was frozen on that plaque and given over to Jabba the Hutt in Empire Strikes Back. But the more I have looked at the painting, the more I've actually liked the painting. Now again, I know a lot of people, they hate it, they think it's demonic. There's a lot of negativity around the painting. But the beauty of art is that it is subjective to the viewer. 2 different people will have 2 different viewpoints on the same portrait. Now, what I love about the portrait is that it's a modern take on a royal portrait. It's not the same old boring royal portrait with a dark background and he's just looking nice and regal. This one is pretty much on fire. And again, there is a lot of hidden messages and symbolism, but I don't believe it's the negative symbolism that a lot of people are trying to paint it to be. Again, I really do appreciate the artistic expression that the artist used, and I really do think it captures King Charles perfectly. Now the portrait itself is 8.5 feet tall. It's an oil canvas done by artist Jonathan Yeo. Now Jonathan and King Charles met a few times for this portrait. They originally met back in 2020 when he was still the Prince of Wales, and I think that is a very important note to remember. Now he painted King Charles in his Welsh Guard uniform with a monarch butterfly on his shoulder. Now I do believe that the artist did an amazing job in capturing King Charles's likeness. I really do like the fact that you can predominantly see his face. Now, in my opinion, this whole portrait was about metamorphosis, kind of like the monarch butterfly, that King Charles has always been a man kind of in the shadows, waiting for his destiny to become king. His mother, Queen Elizabeth, was the longest ruling monarch in UK history, and he is the longest ruling Prince of Wales. Now again, King Charles has always been a little bit introspective. He's not a showboat royal. He's very intellectual, very introverted, much like his mother. And that is what I love about King Charles, is that he is a man waiting to emerge as the monarch butterfly. So you see him in a beautiful portrait wearing his Welsh Guard red uniform with a monarch butterfly just about to land, but not quite, on his shoulder. And then you see him kind of fading slowly to the forefront, kind of like he is slowly coming out of the shadows to become king. And then you see him in the portrait holding a sword, kind of symbolizing military stillness. So the butterfly was actually King Charles's idea. He liked the fact of a butterfly kind of about to land on his shoulder. Again, the whole thing has to do with his love of the environment and, of course, metamorphosis. Now, the artist said he wanted to kind of focus more on King Charles's face, more of the man than the picture and the background. And I think he did an amazing job. Now, some people are saying that it's symbolism. Maybe there's some foreshadowing of the monarchy because the monarch butterfly is endangered. A lot of people feel the monarchy might be endangered or coming to an end. And a lot of people are wondering why King Charles was fading, kind of blending into this very deep red color. Well, red is the color of power. A lot of monarchs have worn red. So I think that is the symbolism, as well as the Welsh Guard uniform, that the artist was going for. Now, of course, unfortunately, this year has been an annus horribilis for the royal family. So a lot of people are, associating the red with fire, with death, with cancer. A lot of negativity surrounding the royal family, which is very unfortunate. Now, I don't believe the artist had any negative intentions. I do believe the portrait was about a man who's coming full to his destiny, going from the Prince of Wales to the King, totally morphing, transitioning from one to the other, going from the background, slowly morphing to the front. I think it's a beautiful artistic portrait, but it is very striking. It is very bold. It is very in your face. But I think that's the beauty of the portrait. And I do like the fact that he made it kind of bold and modern because it's a conversation starter. Let's just say this is going to be a very memorable portrait for years to come. People are going to stop and look and analyze this portrait, which in my opinion is the whole point of art. So what do y'all think? Do you like the portrait? Do you hate the portrait? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. So let's talk about the other royal portrait that has been circulating, the very controversial one that was done for Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Now, Tatler Magazine, in my opinion, really understands that controversy definitely brings up conversation and is going to get more eyes on their magazine. So in my opinion, they did that on purpose, knowing this was going to evoke a lot of emotion and a lot of conversation. So Tatler Magazine unveiled a brand new portrait of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, on their cover that was done by artist Hannah Uzor. Now, Hannah Uzor, in my opinion, had the best of intentions. She really believed that this portrait signified the strength and dignity of Catherine, the Princess of Wales. And she used the beautiful coronation gown that Catherine wore to a state dinner as inspiration. Now, my personal opinion, this lady is very, very talented, but I do not believe she captured the proper essence and the beauty of Catherine, the Princess of Wales. For one, I believe the skin coloring is way too dark, and I keep wanting to dust the powder that is on the nose of Catherine. Not to mention the body looks a little whiter than Catherine is. Catherine is a beautiful, tall, statuesque, thin, regal woman. And I believe that outfit, the way she made the body makes her look like a sack of potatoes. It doesn't look like Catherine. It looks a little thick in the middle. So besides the fact that the skin coloring is off, the body is off, I also don't care for the eyes. I think they're a little too slanted. And I don't feel she captured the beautiful personality and essence of Catherine. I say it's a complete miss for me, although I'm sure the artist is very, very talented, and I don't think she meant any ill will. Well, people were not happy about this portrait of Catherine. People called it hideous, saying it doesn't look like Catherine at all. But again, Tatler Magazine, in my opinion, knew this was going to be a conversation starter, and it was going to make people more interested in their magazine, because clearly this is not a likeness of Catherine. Unlike the portrait of King Charles, you can definitely tell that was King Charles, and I believe the artist captured King Charles beautifully beautifully in that portrait. What do y'all think about this portrait of Catherine? Do you think it was a hit or a miss? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. And the third quote-unquote royal portrait that we are going to talk about today is, of course, the picture of Harry and Meghan that was taken by Misan Harriman. Apparently, it is now getting a permanent home in the National Portrait Gallery, where Catherine, the Princess of Wales, just happens to be the patron. Now, in my opinion, I believe Meghan Markle 100% submitted her photograph herself, and she did it on purpose, knowing that this week we had a brand new portrait from King Charles. We have a brand new portrait of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, on the cover of Tatler. And now Meghan Markle wants to make sure we all remember this horrific photograph where her and Harry are looking off into the distance right before she gives a speech at the One Young World Summit, where she referenced herself 37 times. Remember, she was wearing that really weird red outfit where she was kind of embodying the Duchess of Windsor. And this photograph of Harry and Meghan done in black and white, a classic Meghan Markle move where they're looking off into the distance, again mimics the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. So now it is a part of the National Portrait Gallery, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be displayed. They have thousands upon thousands of portraits in the gallery, and there's only so much space, and they kind of rotate the photographs out. But don't you find it kind of suspicious that all of a sudden this photograph is making the rounds, is making the news, and she wanted to make sure it was in a place where Catherine would see it or Catherine would know about it. To me, it was not a coinkydink that we had the brand new portrait of the king, a brand new portrait of Catherine, and then, oh, here comes Misan Harriman talking about his portrait of Harry and Meghan. Now, Misan Harriman, we all know, is the favorite photographer of Harry and Meghan. He took to his Twitter account saying, "I am humbled and proud to announce that my portrait of Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, is now part of the permanent collection of the National Portrait Gallery. Dare to dream, folks." But again, just because it is part of the gallery doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be displayed. Let's just be grateful that Misan Harriman did not submit the photograph of Meghan Markle staring into your soul with her Charles Manson eyes. That one gave me nightmares and kept me up at night. So I will take the other photograph where they're looking on the distance, mimicking the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, over the one where you literally want to release the Kraken. But what do y'all think about Harry and Meghan's photograph now being part of the National Portrait Gallery? Do you think it's part of Meghan Markle's plan to upstage Catherine, the Princess of Wales? I personally think so. I think she's a single white female. I think she stalks Catherine, and she cannot stand for anyone in the royal family to make news. She's always competing with the royal family. So now she has a photograph that people can talk about. Ugh, typical Meghan. What do y'all think about that? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. Well, guys, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, and be sure to go over and check out video 2. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.